So, as new farm owners, we are actually going to be facing our first hurricane here in Central Florida. So we are just trying to do the best we can to get our farm ready for this hurricane. Now, I would say the first thing that we're doing is holding down any tarps that are on the ground. As we have tarps on grass to extend our garden, and we have tarps on our flower farm section where they're pinned down. So we're using big bags of soil, at least placing them on the tarps, and using some cement bags that went bad and got wet and got hard and are now big rocks, and we are going to use those to put down on the tarps as well. Knowing the winds can be over 100 miles an hour, I mean, we're just taking the chance to see that they help and pin down those tarps and they won't blow away. What's a good thing about the soil, if that does work, obviously we're going to use it. We always need soil. So I bought some bags that I showed you earlier, and we're going to put those down to hold up any tarps that we have. We're just trying to secure anything that we have on the farm that has a potential to blow away. Next thing we're doing is throwing away any garbage or any type of wire, anything big that can fly away from the winds. And so my husband did a great job in tearing down our old chicken coop and clearing out some of the debris we have around the farm right now. We're burning a lot of garbage and things that we don't really need, and things that are bulky that we haven't been able to toss out, we're putting that in the garage. It's going to take up space, but we really don't want that out there just in case the winds pick it up. Another thing that we're doing is securing structures that we already have. It's good that we already built our chicken mansion for our chickens, and they are, I think, pretty well suited right now, just because the garage will block a lot of that wind force. And we're actually going to build on the other side, my husband's going to build on the other side another wall with wood, because we're going to build a kind of like a little mini storage area in the back of the garage. And so we're going to be doing that, and that will give the garage and just where we're going to have our animals a little bit more security when it comes to rain and winds. So that's another thing we're doing, is securing structures we already have, or repairing them, or just trying to make them stronger, so when we do get the hurricane, hopefully it will be sturdy enough to sustain all those winds and all that rain. Next thing we're doing is taking down anything. Now on the farm, we're still a family, and we still have things for our kids to play, and trampoline is one of them. And that's one thing that we're definitely going to take down to try to eliminate any other flying objects that can be around when this hurricane comes. Obviously I'm going to be tearing down this as well, and anything else that is in the way. Like we have a playhouse for my little one. We're not going to tear that down because it's secured on a deck that's pretty solid, but we're just going to make sure anything around it is taken away and it won't fly, so kind of clean that up. So tearing down is also something that we're going to do, just to make sure that if things fail, it won't be flying everywhere around the farm or the homestead. We are going to try to preserve as much food. And so we did buy a lot of canned goods at our local grocery store, and we tried the best we can to fill up all of our water jugs and get water bottles, things like that. But when it comes to preserving, obviously we're not in the point yet that we are have a bunch of canning or dehydrating, as we don't have much when it comes to the garden to do that. So we're just trying our best to buy bulk, and then dehydrating things as we can, baking things as we can, freezing things as we can, to go ahead and make sure that we have some food preservation for our family. Now, hopefully throughout the years, this will be way better, as we are trying to obviously grow our food and preserve it. So hopefully we'll be in a better situation if there's a hurricane later on in the future. But one thing is for sure, I'll be making some fruit leathers. I'll be making some dehydrated apples, things like that for my kids to snack on, and we will be able to preserve food that way. So we have some food if I'm not able to use my stove. We just have chickens, so really we're just gonna worry about them. And we made sure that we have enough feed for them. And so we do, and that's good. So we had that checked. So when it comes to animals, just making sure we have enough food for them at least for a week or two. Not just food for the animals, but also any medication, things that we will need if one of them gets hurt, and we're able to help the animal. So, I mean, just kind of stock up on all the necessities when it comes to having animals that we know of, as we just have chickens. If we had horses and cows and goats and pigs, obviously it'd be way different. We would need way more stuff. But at least we know that as long as we have food, some medical emergency equipment for them, I think would be good. Make sure we have water for them and things like that. So I know I saw like a little list out there that had a checklist of what to have if you have those big animals, like put tags on their ears or brand them, things like that, just in case they get lost in the storm, or they get spooked in some way and they run off somewhere. So tagging your animals, I seen that is a really good thing to do as well. Just make sure that they at least have some structure, if you can, to help them seek some cover. But right now, like I said, we just have chickens, so we're just making sure that they're going to be hopefully okay in the hurricane. As a person who lived in Miami for a long time, I did go through hurricanes, and it's been a while, but I know that one thing I remember when I was small is boarding up windows and taping windows. Definitely securing windows is a good thing to have if you really have that in place. Placing wood boards on them, or I used to do is put tape around the window, so if the glass does break, they break in chunks and not shatter everywhere. So that's another thing you can do, is kind of secure the windows in your house, or if you have windows in the barn, things like that, to hopefully eliminate some of that mess. Another thing we're going to be doing for this hurricane is bringing in any type of plants that have a chance to survive. I have about maybe 3 or 4 or 5 grow bags that have some food in it that I want to save, like my sweet potato slips that have been growing so great, and I don't want to flood them with all this rain that's going to come with the hurricane. So things like that I'll bring in the garage, or even just in my house. Some of my roses that are in containers, I'm going to bring in just for the night, things like that. Now I know, living here, reason why people do grow a lot in containers in Florida, it's just so much easier knowing that you can transport them with these hurricanes that we get all the time. When it comes to trees, we have a bunch of banana trees that are in the ground, which, I mean, hopefully they get spared a little bit. But trees that we have on the farm that are in containers still, like we have a lot of moringa trees that we can bring inside just for the time that the hurricanes pass. So things like that we can try to save by giving them some shelter. Now with our farm or homestead, I mean, our goal is to be self-sufficient. So when it comes to self-sufficiency and energy, we think of solar. So buying things when it comes to solar is just so smart to do here in Florida. First of all, we have a lot of sun, so no worries about that. 2, solar, you don't have to depend on batteries. So I bought some solar panel chargers for like electronics, as our kids have their phones and tablets, so they can watch their shows and cartoons. My laptop, do some computer work, things like that. I bought these great little pucks. They can charge up to 3 to 2. I've even seen 4 outlets that you can put in to charge your electronics. So I bought those, and I also bought some lanterns that are also solar that I'm going to give to each person in my house. Remember, I have a family of 6, so I bought some of those to help out when the lights go out, because I'm pretty sure we will lose electricity, and so things that are solar are just so much easier to have. We don't have to depend on batteries. So the solar chargers and our generator is definitely going to help us get through the time where we don't have electricity, if that happens. Well, those are all the things that we're doing to try to get ready for this hurricane here in Central Florida on the farmstead, homestead, farm, whatever you want to call it. We definitely will learn a lot after this hurricane for sure. And hopefully later on in the future, we will make another video with more hurricane tips and tricks that we learned when we get more experience with hurricanes here on a farm. So hopefully the damage is minimal when the hurricane does come through here, but we're just gonna cross our fingers, do everything that we feel is best, and hope for the best. So I just want to say thank you for seeing this video. I hope everyone is doing well. Anybody in Florida, I hope you're staying safe in this hurricane, Hurricane Ian. And if anybody has any other recommendations or tips or tricks how to get ready for a hurricane here in Florida, definitely leave it down below in the comments for everybody else. If you haven't subscribed, please do like this video if you like it, and hopefully sooner or later we'll get more on our videos on the farm. Bye everyone.